Welcome to Modern Motoring. Welcome to the 2027 Infiniti QX65 first drive. About a month ago, I did a first look at the Infiniti Canada head office, but that was a static vehicle. This one I've been driving for most of the day, and this video will focus on the driving impression side. And yes, I will get it a third time later on this summer once it hits the media fleet, and we'll go through what it's like to live with for a full week. But for now, it's going to be focused on the driving impressions. So we'll go through our baseline numbers. We'll touch on a little bit of cargo, but again, it's going to be what it's like to drive. And I've had it for about 3-ish hours. So good early driving impressions. We'll talk about what Infiniti's done with the engine and how they've slightly adjusted it to make it a little more responsive. So with that, let me get out of the shade and into a nice air-conditioned car, and let's talk about the 2027 Infiniti QX65. On the road with the 2027 QX65, let's go through our baseline numbers. So it is a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, 268 horsepower, 286 pound-feet of torque, 9-speed automatic transmission, and all-wheel drive does come standard. As far as the weight split, we have 56% up front, 44% in the rear, and it feels pretty well balanced. And as I mentioned in the intro, a lot of this video is going to focus on the driving impressions because, well, it's a first drive program. But a few more numbers, 3 trims, Luxe, Sport, and Autograph. Fuel tank is 70 liters. Official fuel figures haven't been released as of the day of driving. The embargo is about a week-ish from now. So if I do have fuel figures, they will be at the bottom of the screen. So let's talk about driving. I've had it on the freeway, I've had it on back roads, I've had it on city streets. And the one thing that stands out is just how planted the 65 feels. And I'm on some back roads right now, and it's not especially fast. And I don't think many people are going to be whipping and ripping this thing around twists and turns. But what I can say is that regular back road speeds of 60 to 80 kilometers an hour, the 65 stays a lot flatter than I thought for a vehicle of this size. And it's not that I thought poorly of the 65 to begin with, but it's a mid-size SUV and not really known for handling in any of the competitors, not just the 65, but lower speeds, it does extremely well. And even at around 60, 70 kilometers an hour, it takes the turns so nicely. And I never feel like I'm not in control. So the oversteer understeer ratio is pretty minimal for me. You'll have a little bit of it, but on twists, turns, and curves, the 65 performs surprisingly well for the size of vehicle it's in. Now, Infiniti said they have recalibrated the 9-speed transmission so that you get a little more oomph out of lower gears, and it's a little more on the responsive side. And they'd mentioned that in the first look, but I couldn't really do much of anything with that because I hadn't driven the vehicle, and this was about a month ago. But now that I've had a few hours behind the wheel, I've gotten familiar with what the 65 is and what it can do and its capabilities. I can definitely see where they're coming from when they say you have a noticeable amount of increased low-end get up and go, for a lack of a better word for it. And again, I don't know how fast and aggressive people will be driving this, but for everyday driving, everyday living, if you need to stomp on that accelerator to avoid a collision, or whatever it is, or you've got to just get up to a little higher speed, the 65 does it pretty effortless. It's not even a word. It does it effortless. There it is again. Effortless. Why am I so bad at this one word? It does it with minimal effort. Effortlessly. No, you know what? We're just gonna keep all those funny flubs in because apparently I can't say effortlessly. Oh yes, I can if I say it super slow. There is minimal noise, vibration, and harshness. And yes, you kind of expect that out of a luxury vehicle, but being all new, Infiniti has really spent a lot of time on making sure that it's a very quiet and serene drive. And if you don't like the quiet side of things and you want something to fill the cabin, there is an available 20 speaker Klipsch audio system, and it sounds pretty good. I gotta say, I've been a pretty big snob as far as audio goes, being a musician, so I'm really picky and just very selective in what's good to me and what's average and okay, but this 20 speaker system does it extremely well. If you want a little bit of, not noise, but if you want to have some engine sounds kick in, pop it up to sport mode. So that's what I'll do right now. Nope, let me get that in sport. So I think that's going to come through. Let me do a quick comparison test. So this is auto. And this is sport. So you hear a little bit of it. I'm going to keep it out of sport so the audio is a little better for you out there. I think this is going to be an everyday driver, and yes, you'll have the available capability to have a little fun with it, but I don't know how many people are buying a mid-size luxury SUV for the fun factor as opposed to the build quality, the quiet factor, the smooth ride feel. And I just went over a bump, and it was a pretty significant bump, so I'm pretty sure you heard it and saw it and felt it. But as far as minor road imperfections go, it's really, really good. And I'm impressed that they've taken so much care over and above, because yes, there's a built-in, I guess just a built-in expectation. I don't like using the word expectation, but there is a built-in expectation of it's a luxury vehicle and it's going up against the Lexuses and the Lincolns. So you have to just go that extra mile or extra kilometer in Canada to make sure the noise, vibration, harshness, and the ride feel is exceptionally good. And that's when close. And that's what Infiniti's done here. Oh boy, 2 flubs. Wheel sizes vary between 20 and 21 inches, the top trim autograph getting the 21-inch wheels. Changing gears a little bit, let's talk about the interior in motion, because I've talked about the interior with the vehicle standing still. Extremely comfortable seats, and the infotainment system, very easy to use. Google built-in, wireless CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, and you get your wireless charging. As far as standard fare goes, you get a 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster. Very Infiniti, very familiar. They haven't broken the mold on that side, which I'm extremely happy with. I think I said standard Google built-in. If I didn't, I'm going to say it again. Standard Google built-in. Looking down just beneath that is the climate control system. I'm thankful that there are 2 physical dials. I would have liked to have seen a few more physical controls themselves. And thankfully, and I might be a small percentage of the population that says this, but I love that there's a scroll wheel. I like how Mazda does it. I like how BMW does it. It keeps your screen fingerprint free, and you just get used to having the muscle memory of that rotary controller to control what you want on the HVAC, on the HVAC infotainment screen. Heated seats up front, and 2 out of the 3 seats in the rear, being the outboard positions, come heated as standard. You got this beautiful large panoramic sunroof as standard as well. And on the standard safety side, it is extremely long, and that makes me extremely happy. Forward collision warning, forward emergency braking, rear automatic braking, rear cross traffic alert, blind spot monitoring, lane departure warning, lane keep assist, and the driver attention alert are some of the highlights. Touching on the rear of the vehicle, just for a quick moment, we have 1,014 liters of cargo space with the seats down, and you have 1,917 with those rear seats up. And I know I said I wasn't going to touch too much on anything else aside from the driving, but with a coupe-shaped SUV, the first thing that some people think of is, okay, well, if we're just lopping off the top a little bit, that's going to impact the cargo area. But Infiniti showed us that you can put 4 checked luggage pieces in the trunk and have a couple of tote bags there as well. I'm average guy of average height and a little over average weight, but I fit behind myself with a good amount of knee space and a good amount of head space as well. So yes, you would clearly get more if it was a quote-unquote traditionally shaped SUV, but Infiniti has maximized the cargo space, head space, leg space. That's going to wrap up the first drive for the 2027 Infiniti QX65. I'm impressed that they've made this mid-size SUV fairly athletic as far as twists and turns at higher speeds go. There's plenty of get up and go from lower speeds, and it's pleasantly quiet at higher speeds as well. So I think Infiniti has done a lot of work here, and it shows. And I hope this is a big, bright neon sign of things to come for Infiniti, because it's no secret they've had an interesting past few years, but there is an all-new QX80. And yes, they got rid of the QX50 and QX55, but we have the 65, and they've said they've got a few really cool things coming down the pipeline. And with that, if you have any questions on the 2027 Infiniti QX65 first drive, let me know in the comments. I'm always happy to hear from you, and I'm always happy to engage in respectful conversations online. I invite you to join the Modern Motoring social media platforms. I am on all of the major ones. And of course, without you, there is no Modern Motoring. So I thank you, I appreciate you, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.